Antiphospholipid. Don't make fun of me. Antiphospholipid. Antiphospholipid. Welcome to Elise's channel. Was that good enough?
Yeah, that was good enough. So this is gonna be a health update, and William is here with me because I need help. So, let me give a short intro of, I guess, what has happened this past year, because there's a lot of people, like family members that I have, that don't even know what's going on. Well, we're kind of both this way. We are not people that typically share stuff like this, and I've actually been learning in the past week that I've been opening up and sharing that it's actually helping the situation for people to understand what we've been going through and what we're currently going through. I'm learning and growing and realizing it's just hard for me to share health stuff because it's something I've always hated and been embarrassed by. So, short explanation, I've had health issues all my life. That's going to be a separate video I think I'll do, is like an explanation of kind of my medical history and my journey. Hopefully that'll help some people out and avoid some things for them that I had to go through. The short window of kind of what's been going on in the past year and a half is that we got pregnant, I miscarried. That miscarriage ended up with me in the hospital, almost hemorrhaging to death, being rushed to the ICU, and then being saved by an amazing team of people, spending the next 4 days in ICU, having to have 6 bags of blood total, so pretty much an entire transfusion of all my blood is what I was told. From that came finally like doctors sending me to the right doctors, which that's a whole nother video, because honestly I was sent to the right doctors because of my amazing fertility doctor, Dr. Caldwell, with the Hope Women's Clinic. Side note, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, my friend, my bestie is, she has a whole channel called Taking Back the Terms where she can tell you about all of that, but that's a side note, so we'll go into that. That's a whole nother video.
So, yeah, to make the short story longer, is basically we spent the last year going from doctor to doctor to doctor. Test to test, blood work to blood work. But it hasn't been going doctor to doctor to doctor because Dr. A couldn't figure it out, so we went to Dr. B. It was going to Dr. A, them being like, hey, I'm gonna see you through this, but go to Dr. B, who's a specialist in this area, right? So we would do that. Then we go back to Dr. A. Dr. A is like, cool, you got this figured out? Dr. B wants us to go to Dr. C now. I agree, go to Dr. C. So anyway, after all these doctors we've been going to, it's just been never ending. We went to what we thought was gonna be kind of like our final doctor yesterday, doctor's appointment, to find out that there's a Dr. Z. Yeah. So we're going to another doctor. 7th or 8th specialist. Yeah, specialists. And they're not like, we're not going and not having to go back to these people. That's because we finally, I was called a medical mystery for years, and finally, after almost dying, I was sent to the right doctors, and it really truly is about finding the right doctor who thinks outside the box. My endocrinologist figured out that I have this extremely rare genetic mutation. It's called HNF1 beta / MODY5. MODY5 is the diabetes portion of it. In short, when you're being formed, I should say, in the womb, and your body is forming all your organ systems, this gene helps in the formation of multiple organ systems. And so when it's mutated, it can cause mutations throughout all of those systems. Pancreas, liver, bowels, urinary, kidney. All of them?
So we've had to go, and I will have to continue for the rest of my life to go to all the different specialists for the different organ systems. And for each of those, we've had to figure out what is wrong with each of them and then how to fix it. Now, this was just found in the 90s. It is hereditary, so that's a whole nother thing for my family, and you can feel free to message me about it. And I can probably do, like, I'm planning on contacting family when we have a little bit more information. They found the gene in the 90s, so they don't know enough about it. I'm on a registry now. There's a team of doctors at the University of Chicago. There's also people in the UK that work on this at Exeter. They're following me, this research team of doctors, because they just don't know enough about this yet. So there's still a lot that we don't know. It is hereditary, like I said. It's 50-50 chance of passing it down. One of the specialists is a hepatologist. Through her exploration...
What's a hepatopolis?
Hepatopolis?
What's a hepatopolis?
It's a liver doctor.
The liver doctor?
Yeah. Which I've had liver. That's probably they focus way too much on the liver, and they should have been looking at other things. Anyways, that's
Elise uses the real names for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like a nephrologist. That's a kidney doctor.
I have no idea what that is. We could just say kidney doctor, but no.
I'm just used to saying it now.
No.
I know. It's like when the vet says or a doctor says all these technical terms and you don't know what they are.
We go to the nerve doctor.
Yeah, we go to the nerve doctor. That's a kidney doctor. Just kidding. Nephrologist. But that's not what we're talking about.
Okay, what are we talking? We're talking about
the liver
hepatologist.
Doctor. Yeah, liver doctor.
Is that what it is, hepatologist?
Yes, good job. Hepatology. The liver doctor did blood work and found that I have autoimmune markers that are positive that used to not be positive. So we ruled out autoimmune hepatitis through my probably 5th liver biopsy that I've had in my life. She then wanted me to go to a rheumatologist. So yesterday, we're finally up to, now that's a very, very condensed version of all the stuff that's been happening.
I feel like we should have had a whiteboard and I drew the story out.
Right. That's just like, I mean, there's so much stuff that was not even included in that. I'm not going to bore you with those details right now. Anyways, so I did research, found a rheumatologist who is very well known in this area, and it was 6 months for me to get an appointment. So we have been in this limbo, and yesterday we finally had the appointment.
Yes, we were very nervous.
It was so awesome. Yeah, and I was nervous that I was going to go and not like her. Because that has happened.
Well, you just wait for 6 months, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and you need this appointment before you can do other things with other doctors.
Everybody's like, until you get to the rheumatologist. Yeah. After you get to the rheumatologist.
So anyway, we go to the retro doctor, and she was amazing. She was awesome.
She was like super down to earth, like totally our style. Yes. At one point, I was like, girl. and she was like, dude. And she was very down to earth. We loved her. She thought outside the box, which is so important. I could do a whole video on that, like doctors, like the quality of a doctor and what you need to look for. Yeah. It was a very long appointment because it always takes like an hour and a half to go through my medical history. She is looking at multiple things right now. We already knew that there was a good chance that I had lupus. I have joint pain, muscle pain, random like little rashes and blisters that form.
She's my little leper.
Yeah, I'm a little leper today. I have like a nice big one right here. To make it short, we already kind of knew that there was a good chance I had lupus, but she's looking into lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, which the blood work seems to be coming back with no to the rheumatoid arthritis.
Negative.
But we're not positive yet. And then something that I don't remember what she called it at all, but she basically said that it was a step down from the bubble boy.
Yeah.
You remember?
I wrote it down.
Yeah, she said something about B cells and T cells and not having B cells or
the T cells are trying to do all the work and the B cells aren't there because they're lazy. I don't know.
Anyways, we might have to I might have to go in a bubble.
It could be CVID.
CVID.
I just made that up, but it is CVID. I don't know what it stands for.
I don't know either.
The other one was antiphospholipid. Don't make fun of me. Antiphospholipid. Antiphospholipid.
Antiphospholipid syndrome.
That's not what she said.
Yes,
antiphospholipid syndrome.
He can't.
Or it could be juvenile rheumatoid. I don't know if it's rheumatoid arthritis.
It doesn't.
I stopped typing after that.
There was so many. That's the thing is, like, doctors when they're trying, like, she was just trying to think of all different stuff. And of course she was like, there's this rare thing. And I was like, well, it's probably me, because I'm always like the 1%, like the only person that's allergic to her insulin and all kinds of stuff. Like it's always like the weird thing that I have. Anyway, so she said that it could be the lupus and this
Antiphospholipid.
No. That's a whole nother. So the antiphospholipid syndrome, I tested positive for. She's rechecking it, but that would explain the almost hemorrhaging to death. So that's a whole nother conversation, because it's more than a clotting thing. I still have to understand it, but that looks like it's a definite that I have this thing, which is why it's going to be very difficult for me to carry a baby, have a baby in general. There's a lot of, sadly, stillborns and miscarriages in all the terms. She said a lot of her patients have had stillborns. So that was not a fun conversation. That's something we're going to have to look into more.
Right.
We're still trying to determine whether it's even safe for me or us to try again. Right now, it's not. She put me on, she felt my joints and said that they felt warm, which I guess is a sign of lupus or arthritis or whatever. And it was funny because I do have a very high tolerance for pain because of all the things that I've been through. And
see, I should have clarified, because I thought warm joints would be a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's a sign of inflammation. Like, so she felt my joints and she was like, well, I think she was basically like, I think you just are used to it, because I was trying to. I'm not very dramatic when I talk about stuff. I try to say it as very plainly and like as honestly.
That's why she said that.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I have joint pain, but then and I'm trying to be very honest and specific, because I think that's important about my symptoms, because it can be like, if you say this, then it could be this. If I specifically say this one thing, then it aligns with this thing. And if I don't,
She felt your knee, she felt your wrist and your elbow.
She said they were all warm.
Warm.
Yeah. So
which is rare for you to be anything warm.
Yeah, well, my fingers and feet are always cold, which is, I think, a diabetes thing. Anyways,
I don't know.
That's a whole nother thing, because I had to be put on insulin pump, and all this other stuff. Like, my whole life has changed. There's so many details that we're not even sharing.
So we go to this doctor.
So go to the doctor.
We get all of this really good news that might not be good news, but it's good news for us because now we know.
Well, it's potentially answers. So the hardest thing, and anybody who's ever dealt with chronic illness, is being called a medical mystery and not having a diagnosis, because then there's nothing they can do to help you. And that has been most of my life. So even though all these things are, are scary, or like they seem like they're bad, to me they're at least answers. I already know that I have issues. I've already known that for my whole life. So I don't know how to describe this other than somebody, who does like know what it's like. I'd rather have lupus and know that and be able to treat it than have something that I can't treat.
Right.
So it's just not as scary when it has a name, for me, it's not,
So what are we doing tomorrow?
Okay, so the game plan is she gave me this like really good ibuprofen.
Very good ibuprofen.
I'm so excited about it.
It's
like
wrapped.
special.
It's wrapped in stomach acid reducer. Yes.
And it's a strong ibuprofen, so I'm supposed to take that 3 times a day. She gave me she put me on this drug called naltrexone, which I've already been on, but I went off of it because nobody was prescribing anymore.
Ibuprofen.
Naltrexone. Naltrexone, it's like an low dose. Naltrexone is anti-inflammatory.
200 milligrams of purple nurple.
Purple nurple. It's a drug for lupus. So she wants to try me on this stuff, and then we're gonna go back in November and see her to go over all the blood work that I got. And then basically, and this is kind of how it goes when you go to a specialist for the first time. They do all their tests, they run everything, they go through your, go through your medical test history, go through all these tests, and then they usually follow up within 2 to 3 months. So November 1st is our next appointment, and we'll go through in detail all of the blood work and then kind of come up, hopefully it means a diagnosis, but we don't know yet. They may, that may take time. We'll see how the drugs that I'm taking have affected me and how we're doing. And then the other thing is going to this immunologist who hopefully will help me with...
Which is the next doctor.
Which is the next
This doctor
specialist.
we just went to suggested us to go.
Yeah, which is funny because she was like, you haven't been sent to this guy? And I was like, I'm just doing what the doctors tell me. All of this being said, I want to kind of state a few things that this has been a lifetime of things that I've been dealing with. I have been through every type of doctor, homeopathic, naturopathic, functional, chiropractic. I mean, I literally, there's a...
Prayer doctors.
Like, yeah, I have been literally to everything that's out there. Literally, I've been on every kind of diet, so it's very sweet. People will try to message me and be like, have you tried this? And just to kind of put it out there, I have. I've already gone all of those routes, and unfortunately, this is way more complicated than any of those routes. And although those doctors are actually some of the ones that helped me the most, they all got to a point where they couldn't help me anymore. So...
Well, also, not everything that's posted online about the situation is like a bad thing.
Right.
I know that with the doctor's appointment she just had yesterday, whatever, we had to get blood drawn, and we had 24 vials of blood. We just thought it was funny that there was 24 blood tests that had to be ran, So...
And that's not the first, I've had literally, probably about 50 draws or more this year, and that, I think those have been the most vials, but that has not been there's been multiple vials, that's just the way this, thankfully, that was mostly the rheumatologist blood work, but there was also 2 other doctors drawing blood at the same time, which is something I've learned, because I used to get 3 blood works, 2 to 3 draws in a week at some points, and then finally was like, okay, can we all combine this?
Time.
Yeah, and by the 24th vial, the guy who's Richard, who was drawing it, was having a hard time drawing it, and then he forgot one and had to pour some in.
I don't think we're supposed to say that.
Oh well, he was awesome. I really liked him. He was laughing with me because of my ginormous amount of orders.
All they cared about was that we got out the front door.
Yeah,
and then we were on our own. So
yeah.
But no fainting. We went to Wendy's and got you some food right quick. So
yeah, I was laughing a lot. I was very loopy. I wasn't high. I didn't. Hey, but it's more blood than I had when I didn't.
Yeah, it was a lot. So anyway, we're really excited about the next steps, which we don't fully know yet what they are, but we are learning them. Yeah, we're out of limbo, which is nice. Yeah. So getting back on old medications that we know have helped, as well as getting on new medications that we're hoping will help. The one thing that this doctor did say was, we're going to try and get you back to your old self. And that meant a lot to me.
Oh, she did say that?
Yeah, with a lot of the medications of getting you back to
functioning.
None of the doctors that we've gone to recently in the past year have sounded like, well, your life is screwed. You're going to be, stuck in your bed for the rest of your life. The problem is with each doctor is that they keep saying we don't have all the answers yet. We need to go to this doctor and this doctor and this doctor. And so that's what we're doing right now. But it sounds like once we get all the puzzle pieces figured out, it's not going to be necessarily cured is the word, but it's definitely going to be something that will allow Elise to manage appropriately to where from the outside world, it looks like she has a normal life, because of how much work that she puts into herself and the regimen that she would have to follow each day in order to get back to normalcy,
And I talk a lot about vulnerability and authenticity, but it's hard to do these videos. I'm giving my best effort right now, and then when the camera turns off,
we're gonna take a nap.
Yeah, I will be exhausted. Last week I did 2 videos and it completely drained me, and I was sick for most of the weekend. And that's the thing that's hard from the outside with everybody, is to explain my energy level. And it's okay, so I'm doing these videos because one, it gives me the chance to be in contact with everybody, but unfortunately I don't have the energy to be on the phone, to do all these things. I have to focus that energy on my husband and very close circle of family and very close friends, because I just don't have the energy for
right
it
now.
Yeah. So it takes a lot of energy. So this vlogging is a way for me to let you know what's going on.
From her. Like it's her saying it.
Right. Because I can't have multiple conversations. Even with close family, like I haven't been able to talk to certain family members because it's just too hard. You know, it's
winded.
Yeah.
I'm already telling your voice now.
But I have good days and I have bad days. Like I'm very thankful for the good days, and like there's times like I only go out with William because I don't feel comfortable going out because I do have lightheaded spells and dizzy spells, and
she needs a bodyguard because she's an Instagram influencer.
No, that's just what he thinks. We are in a sense, a hold pattern right now till the next appointment, and it takes about 2 to 3 months to get into this immunologist as well. So I don't even know what's gonna happen there. I have medicines that I can try, and I honestly, usually you don't even get that the first appointment. Yeah, you just get, we're gonna do all these tests and I'll see you in 2 to 3 months. So that was exciting. And she gave me some shot that I don't even know what she gave me. I was just like, give me this shot, I will take it, I don't even care.
Yeah, we don't know what the shot was.
No.
I think they're tracking you. They put nanobots into your hip.
Right.
I feel like I'm so glistening right now, and it's warm in here.
I know it is. Oh, this is my studio, by the way. My husband has been amazing and very encouraging me to try to do art or things like that so that my mental health is okay. And I haven't been able to get in here a ton, but I have been able to, that's going to be my next vlog, is about breaking through and doing stuff like that.
Things.
Yeah, sorry. I'm totally wiped out. So.
Well, thanks for watching Elise's channel.
Yeah.
This is her video on her health update.
Yes.
With the doctors.
Is there anything else you want to say? No? Love you. Bye.